So we've got 3 things that we're going to talk about today. Okay, so the first one is just fun. It's just fun. It has to do with this package right here. We're going to open it together and I'm going to share it with you. So that won't take but just a minute. The second one is kind of sad news. And it's kind of a sad topic, so I'm going to catch you up to date on that. And the third topic that we're going to talk about is the whole reason why I made this vlog today. And it's the whole reason why, once again, I haven't talked about the topic that I said the past 3 weeks we were going to talk about. It'll be on the next vlog because this came up and I just feel the need to clear the air on some stuff. I'm certain it will ruffle feathers because it actually has to do with people's feathers getting ruffled by my words and my tone. So yeah, so 3 things. I'm just going to talk about all the things today. Let's start with topic number 1. We're going to talk about this exciting mail that I literally just got in as I was setting up my camera. I didn't plan on putting this in today's vlog, but I'm like, let me just go ahead and share this with you because so many of you are always commenting and asking, where do I get Michaela and Isabel's clothing from? Because, you know, they're normally dressed, I mean, I think they're cute in anything, but they're normally dressed in cute little ruffles and dresses. And I actually just got a package from Marie Nicole, which is where I like to order most of their clothing from. So I thought that I would open it with you. Y'all, I'm so sorry for that rustling of the package in my microphone. Super annoying, and this microphone is highly sensitive. It drives me crazy. But y'all, look at this cuteness that I bought for Mika and Izzy. I mean, the prints are precious. Everything was $20 or under. Like several items were like $19.99 and then several items were like $16.99. But I love how they just mix and match all of the different colors and prints. It's just precious and it makes for unique outfits. Like I said, in the description box below is a link and there is a coupon code, so like you can save some money on your order. The shipping is super fast, and I just think that y'all will be very pleased with anything that you get from Marie Nicole. I'm just excited about these outfits. The girls have therapy tomorrow, so they definitely are going to be sporting something cute, and I'll have to post pictures on my Instagram, so go check that out after you see this video to see what they look like on Mika and Izzy. Y'all know our little girl in China that we've been waiting to bring home for 3.5 years, I think. Our family, with about 400 other families, have been just stuck waiting for China to resume international travel and to resume adoptions. So Lily Grace will be 6 years old at the end of June. We started the process for her when she was 3 years old. So 3.5 years have gone by where she could have been at home in a loving family, and it just is really crappy that she's had to live in an institution longer than needed. Now, she was in an orphanage for the first few years of her life, and it's terrible. It's terrible. Being institutionalized is never healthy. It's never good for any child, but there are some institutions that are worse than others, and sadly she's in one of the worst ones. But about 2 years ago she was moved upstairs to an amazing foster care facility, like within the same building, but it's not the same entity, ran by some amazing women who love these kids, who strive to give them the most family-like environment that they can. And so Lily Grace, along with many other kids, have lived up there the past couple of years, and she's thriving and doing really well. The directors over Eagle's Wings, who live in other countries, they have not been able to travel back to China for 3.5, 4 years. And because of this, they have not been able to build relationships with the new orphanage director and just the new people within the Civil Affairs office within China that makes these decisions for the orphans. These directors over Eagle's Wings haven't been able to build a relationship and a good rapport with them. Therefore, they don't like Eagle's Wings. At the end of the day, they think that they can provide better care for these orphans in orphanages than they can at Eagle's Wings, which is completely untrue. If you remember how Isabel lived at her orphanage, that's how Lily Grace has been living at this orphanage along with all the other orphans there. I don't know how many there are, but a lot. One is too many. So for that reason, this past week, Eagle's Wings got word that all of the orphans had to go back downstairs into the orphanage, into their care. Now, hopefully within the next couple weeks, they will be allowed to bring the orphans back upstairs daily to do like school and like a daycare, just to give the kids some relief from orphanage life, and just to give the kids something to look forward to day in and day out, to do some arts and crafts and to be loved on and get proper nourishment, because they're not going to get proper nutrition in most of these orphanages typically. So hopeful that that will pan out for Lily Grace and for all of the other kids that are being sent back down to the orphanage. But without getting too long-winded, it really, really sucks. It's really not a good environment for her or for any of those kids, and it's really going to set her back a lot. I mean, I just can't imagine. She's nonverbal, and she's been bounced around from here and there and everywhere for her little short life. She's gone from the orphanage to Eagle's Wings, and then they would pull her, not Eagle's Wings staff, but other people would pull her from there to go to like a physical therapy rehab hospital for a month to 3 months at a time. So that's happened twice, where she's just being stripped of like her safety net within Eagle's Wings and being loved on and taken care of, and now she's being stripped of it again. Really sad, really disheartening, really angering. It's out of our control. So we're just fingers crossed, prayerfully hoping that she can come home this year before even more damage is done to her poor little spirit, her mind, and her body. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to update y'all on that, because I feel like that's really big news. Really big news and really, really sad news. So yeah, y'all just be in prayer for her little heart and her little mind, and for all of them. I hate singling her out just because she's our girl, but it's hard to wrap your brain around what those kids live. So y'all, I apologize. There just seems to be a whole lot of traffic, like really loud traffic going on right now. So I apologize if you're hearing a lot of that in the background, but you know, we're set up out here, so we're staying. Plus the kids are inside being really loud. I can hear them through the window. Okay, let's move on to topic number 3. And this is one that my feathers are a little ruffled, and I'm sure your feathers are going to get a little ruffled too. Y'all know that the whole heart of our YouTube channel here is to speak about adoption and to bring awareness to the orphan crisis. That's really our whole mission here. Of course, we sprinkle in other things and the daily life of our kids and our family, and maybe even some marriage stuff here and there. But at the end of the day, we use this platform to hopefully reach people that we ordinarily wouldn't be able to reach day in and day out here in our little world. And we hope to share the realities of what orphan crisis is, and the ugliness of it, and the harsh realities of it, in hopes to encourage and spur people on to get out of their little comfort zone and choose adoption, all for the sake of an orphan's life. So that's our main mission here. I have gotten many comments lately that people are really frustrated with my tone, and when I talk about adoption or I talk about special needs parenting, and they're really frustrated with me. And while it does not bother me a dang minute for people to be frustrated, especially complete strangers, to be frustrated with anything that I say on here, my tone or anything like that, because at the end of the day, their opinion of me doesn't really matter. The opinions of the ones that I love and hold closest to me matters to me, but of strangers, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. But I become very frustrated with some of the comments and some of the attitudes that I feel like you see across social media. So we're just going to talk about it real quick, and I'm going to share with you why I have a tone and why I do become a little like in your face when I'm talking about adoption or I'm talking about special needs parenting. So let me just kind of like lay it out for you so you can understand where I'm coming from. And if you still don't accept it, that's totally fine. You can like move on to another channel and go bark up someone else's tree. But I want y'all to know my heart here and why I share with intensity and why I'm not going to sugarcoat what I share here on this channel. If you know anything about me, I'm an introvert. I'm a peacemaker. I do not like confrontation at all. That's just my nature. It's just my nature. However, I am a 45-year-old woman now, and I have become more vocal. You see, if you know anything about my husband, we've been married almost 25 years. Stan is very vocal. Stan is very in your face, and he will say the things that other people are thinking but don't have the nerve to speak out loud. So if you've been married for any length of time, you know that you kind of take on each other's personality traits over many years, right? We've been married for 25 years, together for like 27 years. That's a huge chunk of time. And so I have taken on some of his character traits, and he's taken on some of my character traits. So I've become more vocal, and he has become more cautious, more aware in his tone and how he speaks. And so we've kind of like, you know, taken on each other's personality traits on some level. So that, and then paired with, I am a 45-year-old perimenopausal woman. I turn 45 next week. And I've shared with y'all on here over the past 5 or 6 months, I've started taking testosterone and progesterone because I was rock bottom with testosterone and just not feeling good, just very blah. And so now that I've been taking this testosterone and my levels are getting back where they should be, if you know anything about testosterone, it makes you feel more things. And so what I've noticed is I'm feeling more feelings that I haven't had for the past, I don't know how many years, because I've just been at a lull and had no testosterone, and my hormones were out of whack, and it just made me real blah. So now I'm feeling better, more energy. It still takes a while, y'all. I mean, this hormone stuff, there's no easy quick fix. But I am feeling more feelings, and I'm more expressive about those feelings, thoughts, opinions, what have you. I mean, my family's even noticed it, and they're not used to seeing that from me. So they're kind of like, whoa, okay. She's very much speaking her mind and her opinion. The fact that I'm just older and I just don't care if someone gets mad at me for what I said, and the fact that I've been married to Stan Feltz for 25 years, and the fact that I've got these new hormones kind of like getting me back to where I should be, like I am more expressive. I am more expressive. There's more sass in my tone, and I can't apologize for it because I don't think I've ever uttered a hateful word on here about anyone or anything. So when I first started this YouTube channel consistently, I guess a couple of years ago, I was still like feeling blah. Obviously, I didn't realize how blah I felt until I started kind of getting my hormones back in check. I was a lot more eloquent, a lot more forgiving with my words. My tone wasn't as, you know what I'm saying? But given all the factors that I just explained, and then also given the fact that I've been on YouTube for a few years now, experiencing the idiotic, rude comments and questions that people leave. Like in the beginning, I could brush them off, but now after being in this, you know, on this platform for a few years now, and being that we're talking about a very important topic, I'm just like, my tolerance level is just like reaching its peak. And so that's another reason why you sense more tone and more sass in how I speak. We're talking about lives of orphans. We're talking about lives of special needs kids. We are not talking about, I'm not getting on here getting sassy and having a tone with you over what kind of car I drive, what kind of clothes I wear, what kind of clothes you should be wearing, what kind of house I live in. Like, I'm not talking about anything that is superficial for the most part. You're not going to find me get a lot of sass about those things because those things don't matter to me. What matters to me is the lives of orphans And the fact of the matter is, many of you get really defensive and don't like my tone when I speak about, hey, we Christians, we need to rise up. We need to quit giving into this comfortable lifestyle and this, like, quit living a life that is self-serving instead of God-serving. We need to amp it up, Christians. We need to step up and say yes. That's a heavy topic, y'all. And I don't know how you see the reality of the orphan crisis. Stan and I have been in the thick of it for 6 years now. We have been in the nasty orphanages with babies tied to the bed, with malnourished ribs sticking out of their poor little body, fingertips hanging on by a thread because the baby's finger was broken but was never fixed. A child who, we have seen the harsh reality. And until you have walked that, until you have chosen the hard for an orphan's life because you see value in their life, you don't get to then say, Ashley, you need to tone it down a little bit. Like, you're just a little bit harsh with your words. No. Because the harsh reality is what those orphans live, not my words, and not your feelings. The harsh reality is that those children go to bed without a mother, without a father, without a blanket, without a cushion, a mattress, without proper nutrition, without medical attention being provided, without hugs and kisses, without proper, it's terrible, y'all. It's terrible. And it is our job as Christians to rise up other Christians to get out of their bubble of life and start doing things that matter for eternity. And I may sound redundant, and I may sound like I'm just repeating myself over and over, because the message is really simple. The message is very simple. Christians, and if you're not a Christian, that's okay. Just move on by. You don't have to listen to me speak. But Christians are so entitled. People in society are so entitled and oh, how dare you? You hurt my feelings by speaking about that. You hurt my feelings at calling out my sin. You hurt my feelings for not telling me that I'm not doing enough as a Christian. I get it. It hurts. This is why Stan and I are choosing adoption over and over, is because we know all of those things. We've experienced all of those things. We have those convictions of what am I doing to serve Christ? What am I doing to further the kingdom? And if I can't name some things, then something's wrong. And Stan and I don't have it perfect. We're not walking out the most perfect Christian life. We don't always choose our words wisely. Our attitudes sometimes suck. I get it. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't speak about the things that matter to Christ. We share because these things matter. And an orphan's life, serving Christ, matters most to me and trumps any feelings that you may have about me or how I speak or how I talk about the uncomfortable things. Because that's the thing. There's a lot of people on this channel that talk about adoption and share their stories. But there's not a lot of people getting on there and saying, hey, step up. What are we doing, Christians? What are we doing as Christ followers? Had someone tell Stan the other day, talking about adoption, my life is just too busy. I just don't think I can make it work. We all have busy lives, but we choose our busy. My busy is filled with giving orphans a different life, a different chance here on earth. That trumps anything else. Any other busyness that I want to add to my plate. Pouring into my kids trumps any other busyness that I could possibly put on my plate of life. Being that example to our biological kids trumps any other busyness that I could possibly find to put on my plate of life. So you get to choose your busyness. And many people's busyness doesn't even most hardly reflect the heart of Christ. And I'm speaking to myself too, right? Another thing is I've gotten many times, and I've gotten this many times, obviously tons, over my short little life on YouTube, but I've gotten it a lot recently, is when I go and address commenters and I go and address topics like this, people are always like, well, you should know that you're on a public forum. So if you don't want criticism and if you don't want people leaving comments, then like you just don't need to share things. You're right, this is a public forum and you can share anything that you want, just as I can share anything that I want. Here's the problem. That comment and people who post things like that are, once again, speaking more about themselves than they are about me and my tolerance and accepting comments like that. It is saying that you have no self-control over your mouth or your tongue. It is saying that you are feel entitled, that I owe you the opportunity to say anything you want on my channel, on my platform, because it's public, and so I should be able to say what I want. Entitlement. It shows the fact that, like, how ignorant are you that you think that you as a complete stranger is going to add value to my choices in life, that your criticisms are going to change how I do things in our family, in our marriage, in our day-to-day life. Like, just because you have thoughts and opinions that come to your mind after watching someone's YouTube channel or seeing someone's Facebook post or Instagram post doesn't then mean you need to go vomit it everywhere if they didn't ask. And 9 times out of 10, ain't nobody asking for your opinion or your judgment or your criticism. So, like, I guess it's just the audacity that I'm, like, sick of seeing, that just because it's a public forum then excuses our ability to have self-control over our mouth, to drop this entitlement persona that we think everyone owes us. Like, I want to say this, so you're going to have to, like, listen to what I have to say. And it's necessary to vomit every opinion, criticism, judgment, every thought that they have. That's not what social media is for, but that's what it's become. I get on social media every single day. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I see so many things that I don't agree with, but I will tell you, I practice self-control. I don't go vomit my opinions and my criticisms of what I think that they should or shouldn't be doing, because number one, they didn't ask. Number two, they do not care what I think. They did not ask me for my opinion. So for that reason, I'm going to keep on scrolling, have those conversations in the privacy of my home with my husband. Hey, you know what? I saw this. This really frustrated me. Here's what I think about it. Okay, that's fine. Keep it in the 4 walls of your home. Don't go think that you or we owe you something by allowing you to share unjust criticisms and harsh judgments and opinions. Does that make sense? So yeah, you are free to make a comment whenever you want. But just as you are free to do that, I then can come back and defend myself, or I can delete, however I choose to. Many I delete, many I do respond to, because I don't like deleting people's comments. Like, I'm not one to put a muzzle on someone's mouth because I don't like their opinion or I don't like their stance on things. But it gets real frustrating when it's just that ego about them, where they just are like, well, you're on here so I can say whatever I want. I'm like, no, you can't. And I think because mainly the things that we're talking about on this platform is adoption and special needs parenting and things like that, man, those are things, again, that matter. We're not, I don't care if you want to criticize my house or the clothes I wear or my makeup. Like, okay, just go ahead and be ugly, whatever. But when you start talking about things that matter for eternity, and you start criticizing those who are stepping up to do something about it, like, I have a real problem. So, I'm going to leave it at that. Yes, my tone has become more sassy. I keep saying because I don't know the word. I have become more defensive about adoption and about the things that we're doing. because I'm just tired of the BS from naysayers. I'm just tired of it. And I will say the huge majority of sweet subscribers and people that view our videos are always leaving precious, encouraging comments, questions, things like that. And thank you for that. So I'm so grateful for you, because it honestly does mean a lot to me. I just the older I get, I just have to stand up for what's right. And that's why sometimes I make these videos, and why I get defensive is because I'm like, no, this is wrong. And like, I'm not going to stand for it. And I want you to know clearly the stance I have and why I have it and the heart behind it, because my stance, my tone, my convictions are never just because I want to be sassy and difficult and I want you to think the way I think. It's because they matter for eternity. And if you can't understand that, then I just have to start deleting comments. I guess, I don't know. So thank you so much for being here. Truly, thank you for being here. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, go ahead and do that now. And if you have little girls, little boys, you need some new spring or summer clothing, again, go click on that little link in the description box. Don't forget the discount code. Again, this is not a sponsorship. It's just me sharing something that I love. Anyways, I will see y'all next time. Have a great day. Bye.